This week on the Media Boss Podcast.
Absolutely consistent basis, because that's how people will find you. If you're only doing it every once in a great while, you're going to miss a lot of people. But if you're doing it every week and you're putting it out there, you take clips of it.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Media Boss Podcast. I am Dr. Barrett Matthews, and I'm excited to have you here today. Look, guys, it's going to be a great show for you today. I promise you that. What? Wait, what? Yes, it's always going to be a great show. I always say that because it always is. And I have a wonderful guest for you as well. You're going to learn some incredible things today. I promise you that much as well. If it is your first time or your second time, whatever, and you're listening to the Media Boss Podcast or watching us here, I want to make sure that you know what the show is about. So this podcast is for those of you who need to reach more people. And I expect that to be most people in business. So guess what? Most of us are usually focused in on one form of media, getting our information out there. Well, guess what? There are people that consume media in various forms. So you need to be able to reach them in all forms. And when you can do that, I consider you to be a media boss. So what I do is I bring people here on this podcast who are using different forms of media so that you can learn how to use them and incorporate them in your business. Got it? Good. So what I want you to do right now is make sure that you have subscribed to the Media Boss Podcast and make sure you are sharing this. Let everyone know that you are paying attention, listening, watching, whatever to the Media Boss Podcast. Share that with all the people you know. Now, I want to give you right now what I like to call the Media Minute. Now, what is the Media Minute? The Media Minute is where I give you some information or something that you can use for media, whether it be news, whether it be a tip, whatever. It's the Media Minute where I take some time and share something with you that I think you can use. And that is just this. Today, I want to share with you something about writing blogs. That's right, writing a blog. The main thing I want to share with you, if you are thinking about writing a blog, is this. Make sure that you are consistent. What I've seen so many times is people will start a blog, they stop a blog. They start a blog, they stop a blog. They do it a few days in a row, then they stop it for a month. They do it for a few weeks, then they stop it for 6 months. Don't do that, because in order for people to catch your blog and hold on to it, they need to see that you're going to be there and you're going to be providing content for them consistently. If they don't see it, they're going to go somewhere else. And we don't want them doing that, do we? No. So we want them making sure that they are consistently listening to your blog because you are consistently posting a blog. Now that is your Media Minute for today. So now it is time for me to bring on my guest. Now, let me tell you guys something. If you are in this century, if you have lived these last few years, you know that with COVID, a lot of things have changed, meaning that there aren't as many live events as there used to be. Yeah, they're coming back more now, but now a lot of people are doing things online. And once they found online, they say, you know what? I don't want to do live that much anymore. So what are they doing? They're doing YouTube. They're doing live stream. You've seen them. You've probably participated in them. And you know what? You love being able to sit in your pajama bottoms, haven't you? Well, guess what? I have a guest today who is an expert in showing you how to make that video part of your life, part of your business, and to help you grow. And I want to welcome to the Media Boss Podcast, none other than Miss Shelley Carney. Shelley, welcome to the Media Boss Podcast.
Well, hello, Barrett. Thank you so much for having me.
And first of all, I have to say, Shelley has the best voice. You have the coolest voice. I know people just compliment you on your voice all the time, don't they?
Actually, they do. Thank you.
Yeah, I know it. You can make money on that voice. That's a great voice. Now, I want to ask you, as far as what you're doing and with people when it comes to live streaming and video, and what is it? First of all, how did you get into that area?
Oh, well, okay. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, yes, let's do that.
2011, 2011. Let's go back in time. I live in Albuquerque, and in Albuquerque, they were making a television series called Breaking Bad. It was very popular, and I thought, you know what, I want to see about getting into background, learning how to get into the film industry. So I started taking a class at the community college to become a film technician and to learn all about that. Through that process, I learned how to produce videos and all of that. And then my business partner and I met up later in that year, and we started doing products for the public access television station. We did a couple of talk shows. We created some short films, some documentaries. We started a live streaming company in 2014, streaming in Mexico. Then in 2017, we built a channel on YouTube called A Gypsy's Kiss, and that was focused on the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. And the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt basically was centered in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which wasn't far from us because that's where the person who hid the treasure lived. So we would get on every week and we would talk about the treasure hunt. And when we grew to 1,000 on our channel, we were able to start live streaming every week. So we were live streaming every week, and we built a channel of about 7,000 subscribers. And then the treasure was found. So we had to pivot. And that was in 2020 when everybody was pivoting, right? So I was like, okay, we got to pivot now too. So then we just decided, how many channels, how many YouTube channels we spawned because people saw us, said, hey, I want to do that too. That looks easy. That looks fun. And they started a YouTube channel. We said, let's do this for a living. Let's teach people how to start their own YouTube channels. And then as we got going, we realized that we could make a live stream video, take the audio, put out a podcast, transcribe the audio, and use the text to create a blog. So every week we can do a live stream, a podcast, and a blog very consistently, like you suggested.
I'm giving you a virtual hug right now because it's like we're soulmates. I tell people these things all the time. I mean, I literally did an interview this morning and they were asking me, and just what you just described there. It's like, it's not, and I like the way you describe that because I like to explain to people, it's not as daunting as people make it out to be. You can repurpose that.
It's true. It's not. If I have to stand in front of like 100,000 people or something, and I'd be freaked out. But to sit in front of a camera, even knowing there's 350, 450 people watching, that's great. I'm having a party.
You're right. And the great thing about sitting in front of the camera is you don't know who's out there.
That's right.
You don't know who's out there, and it's just the camera, and it's wonderful. So I wanted to ask you this. Now, what is live casting and the benefit for business owners?
Okay, so live casting is just taking the two words live stream, podcast, and putting them together. So if you're going to do a podcast anyway, start off with a live stream, pull that audio, put it out as a podcast, save yourself oodles of time and effort, and don't edit. Secret. Take your time. Don't edit. Just put it out there.
So that point right there, that's a sticking point for a lot of people. And you and I, we subscribe to the same thoughts on a lot of things I see. I tell people like to see that you're human. If you make a mistake, go with it. And what do you say to those people that say, oh my God, I made a mistake. What do I do? What do you say to them?
You tell your audience you made a mistake and you let them in on the whole thing and they have fun with it. Right? We'll be sitting there doing a live cast in my partner's third bedroom, which is our studio, and the doorbell rings because he's getting a delivery from Amazon or whatever. And
I love it.
Like, oh, the doorbell rang, it's not a big deal. It's live. People are used to it and they enjoy it. They enjoy knowing. Plus, if they're there live and they can chat with you, that's exciting for them because then they know they have some ownership of your program and they have control, a little bit of control. They can put a comment in there and you can put their comment on the screen and they go, oh, look, I affected that show. I have ownership.
Oh my God, that's so true. Because now, the ownership component is good because it actually brings about loyalty as well when they feel that they have an ownership stake in the show. But I like that whole ring the doorbell ring because Amazon, because I literally had that happen. But I literally had that happen. Now, as far as when someone is live streaming, is there certain equipment that you recommend that they have in place before they start doing something like that?
Well, I do. Now, you can do it with your phone, but when you're only doing it with your phone, that you're not committed, I feel like.
Mhm.
Uh, so what we recommend is we have two monitors uh, at a desktop in an office that's set up as a studio with a door. So you have quiet. We recommend the headsets. You can start off with a cheaper one. They have one for about $30. That's a headset with an attached microphone that does a pretty
Mhm.
good job. It's called the One Audio A70. And I have one of those, but this one is actually an Audio Technica, which is a higher
Mhm.
quality headset. So I have the best sound available, but start with something that you can afford. And so you want a headset with a mic, you want a webcam.
Mhm.
Uh, Always get Logitech because all the off brands do not work as well. Always get Logitech if you're getting a webcam. And I do recommend a webcam instead of like a DSLR or
Yeah.
using your laptop camera. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely get a webcam. We also do our lighting. We have two LED CFLs up on the wall at a 45
Uh-huh.
angle from me. So we have a nice flat, even lighting. And it also gives me the ability to put up a pop-up green screen so you don't see my mess in the background. You can just see whatever I want you to see, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that I highly recommend. Make sure, of course, number one, you have good internet, good quality,
Good point.
reliable internet, and that you're using an Ethernet connection, because that's the most important foundation of creating a show.
So when you're talking to someone about doing live streaming, do you recommend something that they do just an event or do something on a consistent basis?
Absolutely consistent basis because that's how people will find you. If you're only doing it every once in a great while, you're going to miss a lot of people. But if you're doing it every week and you're putting it out there, you take clips of it and you share it on
Yeah, yeah.
social media, you tell everybody, you go on other people's podcasts and you say, hey, come check out my show, Messages and Methods, on Thursdays at 1 o'clock Mountain, be there. And then, then you spread the word and then they know, oh, she's there every Thursday at 1
Every
o'clock.
Thursday.
I can go find her.
Yeah, I always tell people it's kind of like, your favorite TV show. You
Yes.
know when it comes on, what channel it comes on, and you're in front of that TV because you know it's going to be there. When they move it, you get mad.
Yes. And if you have to miss it, well, it's recorded. So you can always go back later and look at it.
Exactly. Good point. So when someone is trying to do something on a consistent basis like that, what do you suggest to them? Because I know one of the problems I hear people, oh gosh, the content. How am I going to come up with content? Do you have any suggestions for them?
Absolutely. So you want to know who you're speaking to, of course, number one. Who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to encore entrepreneurs, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s who want to share their message with the world.
Old people like me. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. Me too. It's really good if you're aiming your message at people who are like you, at your age level, at, doing the kinds of things that you're doing, interested in the kinds of things you're interested in, because then it's fun for you to just share with them and they'll show up. And then once you know who you're talking to, what you're talking about, you want to be able to serve your audience with what they need the most. And that might mean asking them to give you feedback. It might mean Googling things and see what pops up that other people have typed in as questions and answering those. There's many places on the internet where you can go, like, to answer questions, Quora or one of these sites where people ask questions, and you go
Yeah.
there, you look it up, or you can go say, my expertise is in live streaming. So let me go look at all the live streaming books on Amazon and then look at all the comments and questions about those books.
Yeah.
And that will help you kind of inform as to what kind of content you put out. And also, you're going to have competitors.
Yeah.
Take a look at what they're talking about,
Good
especially
point.
if they have a huge audience. What are they talking about that people are excited about, and borrow from that.
Wow.
Here's that idea. Let me expand on it with my point of view.
So Shelley, can someone gain visibility fast doing this?
I think it's a lot of things, right? You're doing a lot of things. Live streaming, so you've got video out. Podcasting, so you've got audio out. Blogging, so you've got text out. social media posting. So you've got you're filling in with your social media. Then you want to get out into the world and meet people and hand out business cards and network and go on other masterminds and speak to those groups and bring them all in and keep bringing them in and keep inviting them and keep telling them, bring your friends, tell everybody I'm here, I'm doing this, send me your questions. And you have to keep at it. Consistency and momentum will bring that audience to you. And you have to work really hard at it for the first, I'm going to say 18 months to 2 years. And then you should start to hit that minimum viable audience where you don't have to work quite so hard for people to know who you are.
I like how you put that, 18 months to 2 years, because a lot of people don't have, tell me if you run into this, because I run into this a lot with people. I want to start a podcast. I don't want to make money with it. And I was like, whoa, back up. Like, slow down. A podcast just doesn't equal money. And I think a lot of people have that misconception. Do you run into that yourself?
Well, yeah, and they hope that there's money in it, right?
Yes.
And they want there to be money in it because it's an effort. If it's an effort, shouldn't I be getting paid? But the thing that is going to bring you the money is bringing in the audience and then making them loyal to you first as a personal brand, and then they'll buy whatever you want to sell them.
And that takes that 18 to 24 months. You have to build that. A lot of people, they want that instant gratification. I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
That is true. It is true. It is true. And we've been around for a really long time, and we still have to, like, if we're going to change our content, we did this a couple of weeks ago. We're like, with that treasure hunt channel, we cannot hold on to that anymore, even though it's monetized and we have people there. We're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about travel in New Mexico now. So we started a brand new channel, and we told the people, come on over if that's what you want to talk about, because the algorithms and all of the subscribers who were in there who weren't coming to our shows anymore, that was just kind of dragging us down. So we had to say, you know what, we got to let that go and open a new door. And now we have a new channel. And because we have the experience of having built a channel, we know what to do to build a new channel.
I'm going to have to check that out because I want to travel in New Mexico.
Okay. It's called New Mexico Day Trips. So yeah.
You had me at Breaking Bad, but anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, is there a specific platform you recommend for someone live streaming with?
I recommend StreamYard. It is,
okay.
It's not cheap, but it is easy to use, super easy. There's no learning curve. You get in there, you play with it a little bit, and you go, oh, this is easy. Let me push a few buttons and I'm live. And it's fun to use. Now, there are other products out there if you just can't afford StreamYard. There's some on AppSumo. I don't know if you're familiar with AppSumo. It's a marketplace for apps that you can buy. It's mostly for entrepreneurs. And you can purchase something called Melon, which is similar to StreamYard, but not quite as advanced. But it's a great starting place if you just can't afford that monthly subscription to StreamYard. Man,
I hope you guys are taking notes and getting ready to go live. I really do. Because look, we're gonna be back more with Shelley Carney in a second. We're gonna take a quick break here on the Media Boss Podcast. Everybody stay right where you are. We'll be right back with more of the Media Boss Podcast. How are you going to learn everything you need to know about starting a podcast? Well, at the Create Your Podcast Weekend, we put it all in 2 days and help you get your podcast going by next week. That's right, by next week. All you have to do is come to the Create Your Podcast Weekend and let us show you how to get your podcast up and running. We will show you how to attract listeners. We will show you how to get people to pay you for your products and services. What products and services? The products and services we show you how to create, all at the Create Your Podcast Weekend. All you have to do is go to createyourpodcastweekend.com and get registered today. And we have special bonuses. Some of you will even get us to give you the equipment to start your podcast. That's right. We're going to give some of you the podcasting equipment to get started. Go to createyourpodcastweekend.com. That's createyourpodcastweekend.com and get started on your podcast by next week. Starting a podcast can be a daunting task. There's a lot that goes into it, and you're probably wondering if you're able to handle it. Well, why don't you just take 2 days and let us teach you how to do it at the Create Your Podcast Weekend. That's right. We're going to show you all the aspects of how to start your podcast, how to keep your podcast going, how to attract listeners, and how to make money with your podcast. CreateYourPodcastWeekend.com. Get registered right now. All right, everybody, we are back. I'm Dr. Barrett Matthews. Welcome back to the Media Boss Podcast. Man, I am excited. I'm excited because I am learning so much. My guest here is Shelley Carney. Shelley, look, before we wrap up this interview, I've got to ask you. So if someone wanted to get started live streaming, putting their stuff on YouTube, all of that, how do they get started? What's the first step you recommend to them?
Well, the very first step I recommend is go online and go to framework.agkmedia.studio. I have a free framework there for you. It tells you exactly what to do. It breaks it all down for you, and it's 2 infographics. So it's a glance, and you print them out, you put them on your wall, and you follow along with them every week. And it's a framework and a schedule, so you know exactly what to do and what day to do. And it takes you by the hand and walks you through.
And give that one more time for them.
That's it. Framework.agkmedia.studio.
Okay, we're gonna put
not
that
quite enough for you. We have a book out.
Okay. Well, that was my next question. Anything you want them to have or share with them?
Yeah, on Amazon, you can find our book. It's called Livecast Life, the Content Creator Lifestyle. Check that out. It's a great book, and it takes you step by step by step by step and step. And it tells you exactly what we do and how we do it and what software we use, what equipment we use. It's got everything. We're also on a couple of different YouTube channels. We have a channel called Messages and Methods, and we mostly are interviewing people in content marketing and marketing. I have a channel with another friend called Women Conquer Business. That's on Thursdays, and we talk about marketing how-tos, especially for small business owners. And we have our new show, which I told you about, New Mexico Day Trips, where we take day trips around New Mexico and we share our videos and our stories. And I have a brand new show. Rebooting today because I thought, you know what, I need to do this. Shelley Carney live stream coach, and it's on YouTube, and also it will be a podcast. It's already a podcast, but I'm rebooting it. So I'm everywhere on the internet. If you type my name into Google, you'll find me, Shelley Carney.
And make sure you send me all of that so we can put that in the show notes as well. Because I want people to support you. I want people to follow. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're following her. Make sure that you are learning from her, because she gave a wealth of information. There's no reason why you shouldn't be going live streaming after you hear what she just gave us today. So I'm serious, guys. Make sure you support Shelley. Shelley, thank you so much for joining us today on the Media Boss Podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Barrett. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Now, guys, guess what? I got something for you. If you're brand new here to the Media Boss Podcast, or if you've been here before, but you just haven't taken advantage, I'm going to give you my complimentary offer again. I always give this to you guys. I want to help you guys get paid. So what I want to do is have you go to www.5waystoPayingClients.com. 5waystoPayingClients.com. It is my complimentary training to show you how you've been missing those clients and how you can get those clients now that want to pay you, not the ones to kick your tires, the ones that want to pay you. So I want to make sure you guys do that. Now, what I want you to do right now is just hold tight. We'll be right back with a break, and we're going to show you guys how to get out of here on the Media Boss Podcast. So stay right where you are. Why should you contact Media Boss Club right now? Well, because you can get a podcast done for you. You can learn all the aspects that go into putting together a great podcast and have someone else do it for you. That's right. We will build your podcast around your content and make it so you can concentrate on the money-making activities of your business. contact MediaBossClub.com. That's MediaBossClub.com today, and let us get your podcast started right now. Let's face it, you've been talking about starting a podcast for quite some time, but you haven't started yet. Why is that? Could it be that you just don't have the time because your day-to-day keeps you so busy? Or could it be that you don't want to learn all the technical aspects that go into putting together a quality podcast? Well, at Media Boss Club, we take care of that for you. How would you like to have a done-for-you experience? That's right. At Media Boss Club, we build your podcast for you. We will edit your podcast. We will put in the music for you. We even put in commercial breaks that you can put your advertisers in. We will take care of all of the uploading to the great podcast platforms that are out there. That's right, we do everything. All you have to do is just right now go to MediaBossClub.com. That's MediaBossClub.com, and let us handle the heavy lifting for you. All right, guys, we are back with the Media Boss Podcast. Did I tell you? I told you I always have great guests, and Shelley Carney did not disappoint, man. Man, she was so wonderful. I love the information that she shared with you guys. And now it is time for us to do our final bit of housekeeping. So the first thing I want to tell you all is this. If you love the Media Boss Podcast, you want to support us, go to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Media Boss Podcast and make sure that you support the Media Boss Podcast, and we have some nice perks for you guys. Now, also, I just gave away a complimentary training to you guys. Go to www.5waystoPayingClients.com. Make sure you do that. Now, if you guys are serious, I mean serious, about getting your business really out there in the media, using media, I'm talking about podcasts, I'm talking about live streams, I'm talking about books, I'm talking about blogs, magazines, I'm talking about social media, film, streaming television, all of these things, then you need to come to my 5-day challenge. And it is the Make Money from MediaChallenge.com. Make Money from MediaChallenge.com. It's a 5-day challenge. You're going to learn about all of those things in this challenge. And what I want you to do, if you're serious, sign up as a VIP because you get some extra training as a VIP. Now, for those of you who want to start a podcast, we can help you do that. We also have a done for you podcast program. That's right. All you have to do is text the word podcast to 929-244-4323. That's 929-244-4323. And I want to make sure all of you are subscribing to the Media Boss Podcast and that you are sharing this. Let everyone know what you're getting from the Media Boss Podcast and give us a nice review out there, okay? So before we leave, we always say one thing. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, Media Boss out.